A group of indistinguishable creatures was climbing a wall vertically. They looked like some kind of baby birds, but their behavior was straight out of a horror movie. Despite their seemingly fragile and tiny bodies, they were driven by some force, climbing tirelessly, even falling without any sign of being affected. What were these little things? With this question in mind, let's delve into today's story. Here's a video clip. An armored Jeep drove into a tiger park. The Jeep was fully protected, even the tires had wire mesh on them. The Jeep stopped beside a water pit about 5 or 6 meters deep. Suddenly, the driver opened the door and threw a duck into the pit. The duck hit the water with a splash, a significant impact that would have given any other animal a concussion. But the duck landed steadily and began to float on the water. At the same time, the two tigers quickly pounced. The duck dived smoothly, and the tigers splashed the water. Tourists watching started shouting anxiously, but just a few seconds later, both the tourists and the tigers were surprised. Where was the duck? The tigers began looking around, confused. Suddenly, a tiger pounced again, having spotted the duck, but missed once more. After a while, the duck calmly surfaced several meters away. The tigers pounced again, but the duck, seemingly with eyes on the back of its head, dived just in time. The tigers missed again. The mighty tigers were losing their dignity. They needed reinforcements. The camera then showed 3 more tigers at the edge of the pond. The 4 tigers seemed to be strategizing. Meanwhile, the duck provocatively surfaced right under their noses. The tigers pounced, and the duck dived again. This was too much. The tigers were all in for the hunt. All 4 tigers joined the chase, yet they still couldn't catch the duck. The duck even surfaced behind the tigers, mocking them with its agility. The tigers, not realizing the duck was behind them, continued to search in confusion. The duck, unfazed, swam leisurely as if teasing the tigers. Suddenly, a tiger on the shore couldn't stand it any longer and, with a growl, joined the chase, but missed again. An observer in the audience mentioned that a previous duck had lived in the pond for a month without being caught. Someone joked, "Are we going to watch this for a month too?" Despite several more attempts, the 4 tigers remained baffled. The video ended abruptly, leaving viewers wondering if the tigers ever caught the duck. An Australian zoo provided an answer. No. Their keepers never fed ducks to the tigers, knowing the scene would be too beautiful to bear. Even in smaller ponds, tigers would chase ducks exhaustively, only to retreat in frustration. The Australian footage was clearer, allowing us to feel the tiger's helplessness more acutely. So, are ducks really that formidable? Ducks can dive, which we understand, but how do they always predict a tiger's ambush from behind? It seems unscientific. Actually, as early as 1986, biologists had specifically studied this issue. Professor Martin from the University of Birmingham in the UK stated that ducks have a remarkable 578-degree panoramic vision. What does this mean? Let's compare it to humans first. Our eyes are located on our large face plates, looking straight ahead. So if we don't turn our heads, we can only see 180 degrees in front of us and 135 degrees up and down, resulting in a roughly spherical total field of vision. Green represents the effective field of vision, orange represents peripheral vision, and blue represents blind spots. You might have heard that birds have exaggerated fields of vision and can see behind them without turning their heads. However, Professor Martin used data to tell us that this claim is slightly imprecise. He studied 2 bird species, the great bustard and the white stork, and found that their vertical fields of vision are comparable to humans. However, their front and rear fields of vision aren't so exaggerated that they can see behind them without turning their heads. They have blind spots of 52 degrees and 72 degrees behind their heads, respectively. But as the research expanded to vultures, cattle egrets, and Atlantic puffins, their fields of vision grew larger. However, when Professor Martin studied ducks, he said it was unbelievable. The red-eared duck can indeed see behind it without turning its head. Additionally, in terms of vertical vision, it can see an ultra-wide-angle view of 198 degrees without turning its head. This means that while it can see the back of its head, it can also see the top of its head, which is truly like having a panoramic sunroof. So, it dares to leisurely roam in the water, even when surrounded by 4 tigers. It can handle it calmly. The only drawback to a duck's vision is below. From Professor Martin's research chart, we can see a large blue blind spot under the duck's bill, but it's okay. Do you know about the ampullae of Lorenzini in sharks and the duck-billed platypus? Yes, in nature, this flat duck bill design is a kind of sensing device. The duck bill is also a radar, Without eyes, it can sense many external signals, even when diving into muddy waters. It's even better than eyes. Also, if you're a fan of spicy duck heads, you've probably noticed that ducks, like geese, have a row of tooth-like structures in their mouths. This structure, called lamellae, is very advanced. Not only can it sense hydrological conditions, but it can also help ducks filter small fish and shrimp. It's an upgraded version of the baleen in whales. So, with radar mouths and panoramic eyes, ducks are truly remarkable creatures in nature with true panoramic vision. According to Professor Martin's research, besides ducks, there is currently only one other bird species, a shorebird, that may have panoramic senses. Shorebirds represent animals like seagulls. Seagulls are also remarkable. As for their unknown true nature, that's another story for another time. In short, one duck fighting 4 tigers owes much to the duck's panoramic senses. But another question arises: if ducks are so hard to catch, how did humans manage to domesticate them? The answer is quite simple. Do you remember a term from elementary school science called imprinting? Baby ducks follow their mother closely after hatching, treating the first thing they see as their mother. This instinct, called imprinting, is especially strong in ducks. For example, there's a video clip showing ducklings following their mother up some stairs, one by one, eagerly climbing while the mother patiently waits at the top. This explains the mysterious creatures we saw climbing the wall earlier. They were ducklings, driven by their imprinting instinct, trying to reach their mother who was waiting at the top. Humans have leveraged this imprinting instinct to domesticate ducks. In farms, ducklings often imprint on humans, treating them as their mothers. To lead a large group of ducks, all you need to do is control the lead duck. Thousands of ducks will follow their leader instinctively, even if it leads them to a duck processing plant. Ducklings, driven by their imprinting instinct, display remarkable abilities. They can climb walls, glide on water, and even perform leaps of faith from high places, similar to characters in the video game Assassin's Creed. Research shows that the extreme version of this leap of faith comes from the Arctic snow goose. Although called a goose, it's closely related to ducks and geese. Snow goose mothers, to avoid predators like Arctic foxes, build their nests on cliffs 400 feet high. After hatching, the goslings follow their mother off the cliff in a brave leap of faith. Don't worry, most of them land safely. Isn't that amazing? Even ordinary ducklings like the brown-breasted merganser can jump from heights of 15 meters without injury. Why don't they get hurt? Experts say the principle is similar to why ants don't die from falls. Ducklings are very light, weighing only about 30 grams. When they jump, they spread their bodies out like wingsuits, and their fluffy down feathers help cushion the fall and catch the wind, balancing gravity and air resistance. As a result, their landing speed is slow and safe. Furthermore, ducklings are lightweight with a low center of gravity, and they have sharp claws from birth. These features allow them to cling to walls and balance like woodpeckers, enabling them to climb and jump with agility. However, as ducks grow, they gain weight and their bones harden, making these impressive abilities, gliding on water, climbing walls, and leaping through the air, gradually fade away. All right, that's the end of today's story. See you next time.